Good evening, Allegheny Trail friends. We got a great episode for you tonight. We've got Justin, my co-host, and we're so excited about our guest tonight, Heidi Nisbett from North Carolina, who's coming to us. And she's going to be our hiker in residency this year. So we're excited to dive in about how we met, how this package came together, what she's going to be doing, not just on the trail, but she's also going to be part of our big 50th celebration this year, and maybe speckle a few other little exciting things with her presence throughout the trail and some of the trail towns. So without further ado, let me introduce Heidi.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me.
Justin, you guys kind of go a little bit further back than I do. I think maybe you've seen each other at trail days before.
Yeah, I actually met her last year at Trail Days. I don't know if you remember, Heidi. Me and my wife came up to your booth last year, and she was asking me about the custom stickers for the Allegheny Trail last year. So I don't know if you remember that, but she bought a couple of your custom-made stickers last year.
Now that you say that, I do. I did not remember this before you brought it up. I wish you had. I've interacted with you both a few times. I'm embarrassed.
For those of you that don't know, I'd like Heidi to take a second and describe a little bit of your hiking background first before we get into this special skill set that you also have. Tell us a little bit about how you got into it or what trails you've done and sort of what the magnet is for you to keep coming back to backpacking.
I had a quarter-life crisis when I was 25 and didn't know what I wanted to do for work and didn't like a job and quit it and worked another job and didn't like that job and didn't really grow up very outdoorsy. You know, I grew up hiking because we lived close to the mountains and my family was very active, but we never slept in the woods. And a family friend had hiked the Appalachian Trail, or at least a big chunk of it. And I just, you know how it goes. That bug gets in your ear, kind of hear some firsthand stories about it. And just, I needed something to kind of work towards some sort of goal and heard about that and made that my goal. So I thru hiked the AT in 2018 with very little backpacking experience and had a great time, obviously like a completely life-changing experience. And then I just was determined to figure out a way to make adventure sustainable, to continue to hike more trails and to find a way to kind of incorporate that into work in a way that like either a job that allows me to take that time off or a job that, you know, encourages those sort of experiences. So worked for a Appalachian Trail themed brewery here in Charlotte for a few years and got to host a number of programs like backpacking workshops, hiking clubs, meetup groups, and stuff like that. Went on to hike the Superior Hiking Trail in Minnesota. I hiked the Pinhoti Trail in Georgia and Alabama. My husband and I attempted the Continental Divide Trail, and we made it about 700 miles. He fell and broke his arm, so we have unfinished business out there. We came home after that. South Carolina's Foothills Trail 3 times, section hiking the Mountains to Sea Trail. And this summer we're hiking Allegheny Trail. So I'm pretty stoked to have add that one to the list.
I think it's amazing.
I'm getting ready to hike the Foothills Trail this September with Jeff, but I've done that one, and the Pinhoti Trail was an awesome trail. I did that a couple years back. So yeah, those are good trails for sure.
Foothills is actually like, you know, Appalachian Trail is first love, probably should be my favorite, but it probably really is. But the Foothills Trail is actually like the best trail that there is. Like that one's a gem, and I've hiked it 3 times, and I've done a summer, winter, and a spring. So I want to do a fall hike and then probably just still keep hiking.
I think Jeff, and we're looking for a couple other people to join us.
That's the fall one. Okay. I just might.
Yeah.
You never know. I just think it's amazing that you can go from not growing up, sort of being an outdoorsy person, and then just jump on the Appalachian Trail and go hike it. That's like a little bit of a leap.
You know, I wonder as I have friends with kids. The kids are getting older, right? And it's like, I feel like that's kind of the way you have to do it. Like, how do you get a kid into backpacking? You know, all it takes is one bad experience or them being out there in a bad mood. And I don't know, hats off to the parents that get their kids on trail and get them to have a good time. But, you know, it's especially the thru hiking thing can be a bit of a sufferfest. So if you're not the one making the decision to be there, if you're there because your mom said you needed to be there, you know, I can see how that could be scarring.
Yeah. Let's talk about your other amazing skill sets. You're an artist. Tell us about your background and how you've been able to weave that into also the hiking realm.
I've been doing art forever, a lot longer than I've been hiking. So definitely since I was like a little girl, was really gravitated towards that. Took the AP class in high school. And then when I went to college, decided to get a Bachelor of Fine Arts. So I have a BFA in painting and printmaking from Winthrop University in South Carolina. And, just had 4 years of painting and making art and absolutely loved it and really thrived. Part of my quarter life crisis was that I was doing other jobs and I didn't have time in my life for that creative practice and was really, really kind of lost at that period. So I had this few years where I'd say I broke up with art. I was burnt out with it from school. I didn't really see a way to incorporate it into my daily life while also trying to maintain a 9 to 5 and like stay caught up with bills and stuff and just be an adult. Then I found myself on trail, and it was actually pretty last minute that I decided to pack a sketchbook and watercolors. I never worked with watercolors before, but they're packable, and got on trail, and my trail name is kind of based around painting. And so I just kind of had this pressure to, a little bit of pressure. I took the trail name. I was like, that'll mean I'll keep painting. And so I didn't paint every day, but I painted a lot and was able to fill 2 sketchbooks documenting my journey on the AT. And people just loved it. I let people look through it. It wasn't private, and I got a lot of positive feedback from it. And when I came home, I decided to do a series, just a small, I think like 5 or 6 paintings, where I took some of the sketchbook paintings and did them on bigger paper, made them a little bit more refined. Had an art show at the brewery that I had been working at, and everything sold. And I was like, oh, if you're doing cool landscapes with these stories that people can connect with, and they've also hiked there, or they hear your story about it, and there's just this level of connection, people buy it. You can make money doing art. You can make a living doing art. So I did it as a side hustle for a handful of years. And then when I, after the CDT, took the leap of faith, stepped back from the brewery and decided to start doing that a little bit more full time. I do work seasonally as a backpacking guide as well. I've been able to kind of build my own business around that. And pretty much all the work that I do, it's inspired by trail, it's inspired by hiking and the outdoor experiences that I have. So I like to capture the different like iconic locations along the trails that I've hiked. And then find just cool things that I can reproduce the artwork on, doing stickers, doing postcards and things that provide people a variety of cut price points in order to purchase it. And have done a handful of different really fun projects. Like I've worked with Jester. We did the Safe and Found documentary and got to do those illustrations for a documentary on the search and rescue organization out of Haywood County in North Carolina. So just opening the doors to opportunities and people in the hiking world who needed an artist, and been able to kind of merge those two together.
For those of you that haven't seen the Safe and Found, I know there's a bunch of people on the chat right now that probably have. Heidi is the one that drew those illustrations to communicate that story. So powerful. You're just incredibly talented. I'm sure you hear that a lot, and you should hear it a lot. I appreciate it. I'm going to take our listeners back to a conversation you and I had. I got an email from you one day, and you and I started a dialogue about what's possible. For those that may not know anything, if you want to take a minute and describe what an artist in residency like at a national park or some of those elements look like, and how you were able to put that together and create a package for us, I think that's a really good background. We want to fulfill people, and maybe future trails, that will be people with future trails that'll be listening to this, and what an asset this is going to turn into. Not just a fun experience, a great experience, but really how you're going to help us transform the Allegheny Trail.
So an artist residency is an opportunity for an artist to, organization and an artist working together, where the artist then has an opportunity to step away from their life, step away from all of the daily, chores and things that they need to accomplish, and focus entirely on the creative practice. And normally in some sort of way, it benefits the organization. So there's some organizations that just do artist residencies. And then there's, think national parks will do artist residencies where an artist will come and live at a park for, if it's a week, 2 weeks, a month, 2 months, whatever the time period is, and create artwork, in that landscape. And so this is a concept that's been around for a long time. But when I was hiking on the AT and I was having this thought of like, what do I do when I go home? How do we build a career that makes adventure sustainable? How do we build a career that is, something that I want to go to work every day? And so trying to kind of figure out, just brainstorming through this. And one of the things that I thought, and this is going back 6 years on the AT, was like, I would like to come back and do this hike or do a different hike and not try to just get to the terminus. What happens when you slow it down? And I set aside time to sit down and paint, because in my sketchbook on a regular through hike, it's like maybe I spend an hour a day, and that's not even every day. So I'm like, what if I made my intention to hike half of the miles that I'm hiking now, like daily average, and spend that time painting and getting something more refined and really finishing it and really spending time on trail doing it from observation, which is called plein air. So that was, in my brain for a while. And then, I made those connections through Jester and with you, and I was aware of the Allegheny Trail. And I, like, a few years ago, I remember thinking, like, maybe the Allegheny Trail is the trail that I do that on. Like, I don't know anything about this trail, but something about it sounds like I put those two together in my head. And then I realized that Julie had this connection with y'all. And I was like, let me just ask them, like, if this is something that they would support, that we could partner on, because I think it really serves to bring a lot of just, attention to the trail. And then you would end up with these images that should be pretty, and eye-catching and colorful and vibrant. And like all of the paintings that I do, they are a postcard for the trail, like figuratively and literally. How can we mutually benefit each other in that? So that's the mindset that I came to you with is how can we help each other out here?
So what we did was we put together a committee, and from the Allegheny Trail side, and we figured we had 4 people on the committee, and we dove into what do we want Heidi to actually draw. And we want her to have the liberal element to take in her artist's eye, her special view of what she sees, not just commission spots along the trail. And so we're super excited about what's going to come together. We've actually also had interest from a variety of towns, because not only do you do watercolor and things like that, but you also do murals. So let's talk about that for a second. Justin, you've probably seen some of her murals at Trail Days.
Yeah, the murals that she did there at Trail Days, they look awesome. So, these towns that we've been talking to is really going to benefit from that. So much traffic goes by places like Durban. So it's going to be great having a big old mural show up in just a town like that to advertise not just the trail, but what activities you have in the town. So, after seeing all her artwork and everything, I think it's going to be great for these towns to benefit from what she can do.
Absolutely. And so let's talk about your murals for a little bit. What was your first one and how'd you get into it? And I saw a couple really spectacular ones you did. You don't just do them outside, you do them inside. Take us down that rabbit hole for a little bit.
I brown-nosed in Damascus one day. I went up there for something else and just was like, who do I meet? Who do I talk to? I don't know. I just want to get my name in front of these people. And the Appalachian Trail Conservancy had just added their new visitor center there in town. And so I met Emily, who is the coordinator there, and reached out to her leading up to Trail Days last year to see if there might be an opportunity to, hang some work in the gallery. I don't know, just like, what can I do? How can we partner? And what I had suggested, she was like, oh, I don't actually have the space for that. But wait, we're looking for a mural artist. Would that be something that you would be interested in? I was absolutely. I didn't have any experiences in murals. I felt confident, but it's hard to get a job in something you haven't done before. So I was like, this will be great. I'll be able to have a mural in my portfolio. It's a pretty big wall. What was that? 20 or 30 feet by 9, and covered it corner to corner. And, it's right there on the Appalachian Trail where it goes down that main street in Damascus. And so did that last year, working up to Trail Days, worked on it a little bit over the festival as well, which was super cool to be able to do it while everybody's filing into town. People are coming up and chatting with me. They're boosting my ego through the roof, so I just felt that confidence raising. And then they wanted to kind of unify that part of the campus of the ATC with Laurel Creek Park, which is kind of catty corner to it. So they wanted the same artist. And so they had me come back in October to do a 2-part mural over in Laurel Creek Park. And now I've got 3 in my portfolio. So then I get reached out to by the Catawba River Keepers, which is a nonprofit here in Charlotte. They have a space in Cramerton, North Carolina, and got to do that in February, got to do a large scale mural and a floor river map. That was really cool. So now I got 4 or 5 technically under my belt. We're going to do one in Durban after the trail in September or August, something like that. And then I've got a few more lined up for the fall as well. So They'll be doing one in Stallings and a few other opportunities that are firming up. So I'm super excited. I really enjoy working, doing public artwork. I mean, it's just so cool. It's there for everybody. Everybody gets to see it and enjoy it and appreciate it. And I really enjoy working when other people are out and about and getting to interact. I'm pretty extroverted. And so it just really like boosts my energy to have people coming in and out and chatting with me and just like getting to hear their stories and their relationships with the location. And then keeping that in mind, even though the designs are somewhat final, there might be small details that I'm able to incorporate based off the stories that I'm hearing from the people that are chatting with me.
I was actually hiking on the AT and up in Grayson Highlands a couple weeks ago and was fortunate enough to go to Damascus. And as soon as I rolled in, I was like, wait, I got to find Heidi's mural. And then I went over, took a selfie and sent it to you. It is gorgeous. And you're exceptionally talented. There's a lot of great murals there for people that are getting hyped up to get ready to go to trail days. Justin, I know you're going to go and represent the Allegheny Trail for us. Heidi, I know you're going to be there. Julie, I know you're going to be there. I know a couple of people in the chat are going to be there, Miss Nancy. But it's absolutely going to be a great time. And for those of you that are listening, haven't had a chance to check out all the murals, not just Heidi's, but really art, takes us to another place. Emotionally, I know that I've gone to look at some different artwork, and it's the ability to transcend the norm. And it's a privilege to get to have somebody to tell that story like you do, Heidi. And so we're excited to, on the Allegheny Trail, have a lot of the artwork be transformed into maybe a postcard series and look at how we can put together different prints for people and draw people in maybe who may never have a chance to even get on the trail, but can be a part of it, can appreciate it. And we would be remiss without making the significant statement that we were able to do this project with Heidi from a donation. And a very generous person named Charlie Fulton, who actually appreciates arts immensely herself and is a quilter. She also felt like this was a significant project that would help launch, right, and move forward the Allegheny Trail in a lot of different realms. So we're grateful, very grateful to her contribution, which was earmarked for Heidi. So as we continue to go down this rabbit hole, we were talking about this summer, you're going to come and hike and do your hiker residency program. Then sometime later in the fall, right before our 50th, you're going to be in the Durban area working on a mural there for one of our small towns. And that is almost the center of the trail. So there's a whole nother level of significance there. And like Justin said, the building that they've got picked out there, I can't even tell you how many cars go through that a month. It's going to be super to tell that story, like you said. And that's a super special spot in the Monongahela National Forest. It's one of those Mon Forest towns, which is a collective trying to uplift a lot of the little towns that have been left behind, whether it was from timber, whether it was from coal, or the railroad industry kind of, falling apart, getting out of town. And this is going to be a real uplifting, significant boost to just the energy of the town, make people prideful and things like that. So I know they're excited to have you.
I'm really excited for that mural. Yeah.
Yeah. And where I'm going with this is for those of you that are coming to our 50th, Heidi's going to be there on Friday to do a talk about all of the artwork that she's actually going to have done and completed on trail will be at our 50th. How cool is that? And then on Sunday, she's actually going to do an art workshop. So you'd have the opportunity to come, learn, listen, tap into what her inspiration is along the trail. I'm by means no artist, but this is for anybody who just wants to come out and learn and have fun. So that's super exciting for us as well. And at this point, Heidi, you got your shirt on, you got your garb, you got your gear, your family, coming to hike the Allegheny Trail. Once you're in, you're in. That's it. We're family immediately. So Justin, what do you want to say? I know I've been chatting a lot here.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's going to be great having you come out here, hike the trail. Looking forward to meeting you up here at Trail Days, kind of getting the itinerary set up for your plans, the places to stay. There's been so many places now on the trail we've got more sponsors on board now, so more places to stay, more opportunity. So looking forward to you take advantage of all that. There's going to be a lot of places to see now, and I'm really interested to see how this turns out. Hopefully, I want to get out hike with you for a day or two.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
It sounds, yeah. Hopefully so. Get down on Section 4 so we might meet up with you for a weekend, get you out there and check out, especially Smith Knob up there. I'm looking forward to coming up there. That's another good place might be a good opportunity to check out if we can catch it on good weather day.
Yeah.
And for those listening, also, we have a little surprise we're going to drop into the universe tonight. Big Timber Brewery, which is West Virginia's largest microbrewery, I believe, has come to the table and said that they would like to make a Allegheny Trail 50th IPA beer for us, which is going to be epic. June 22nd at the brewery, they're going to have a launch party with a band. It's going to start at 5:00. Going to go to a close. One of the newly refurbished hotels in town is going to give us a discount. It's going to be really, really cool. We may even have a special guest if we can try to figure out where that works. We may have a special guest at that event. So I'm just going to throw it out there. June 22nd, Big Timber Brewery in Elkins. You can get the first taste of the IPA that will also be at the 50th. So we are greatly, greatly appreciative of Ashley and Matt and the whole crew at Big Timber for being a part of our celebration for the 50th, but also, just trying to kick it off and make a big deal about this. So I'm super stoked about that, to be honest.
That's great. That's awesome.
Yeah, super cool. And then one other thing I want to mention while we're talking about some promotional stuff is we got some new swag out in the store. So I've got this Allegheny Trail hat. It says on the back, hike the Allegheny Trail across the little logo part. And then we've got a Vista hat. This one is for working outdoors, sweating a little bit, has a little bit more airification for you. And yeah, these are both great, super lightweight. Throw in the backpack, show a little love. These will be down at Trail Days. I know Justin, Tiffany, Jade, another Tiffany, and Kevin will be down there working our tent, having some gear and stuff like that. But it's just going to be a great time of year. May's a wonderful time to get on trail. Things are happening. It's a good time to be an Allegheny Trail family member.
Yeah, you're looking forward to it. Not much longer till Trail Days.
Yeah. Julie, what are you thinking, honey? I see you over there in the corner.
What's happening, everybody? The chat. I've been popping up everybody's comments in the chat. It's good to see everybody this evening. I actually have a question for Heidi. Hikers always talk about getting their gear together and what I'm going to carry, but Heidi, you're going to have to get art supplies together. So I have an interest on what you've come up with. Prior to going live, you said you were carrying a 3-pound art kit. I'm going to fade away here real quick, but if you would talk about that art kit, I think it would be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's different about this hike than the prior ones that I've done? I'm doing 16 by 20 inch paintings rather than just like 5 by 7 in a sketchbook. So trying to figure that out, I'm going to carry a mailing tube. It's going to have the paper in it. That's £1. And then I needed something to kind of bear down on. And that's where I was really kind of struggling to find something that I could fold up, that could pack into my pack, but then could be unfolded. And then I could put the paper down on it. So I'm not painting on the ground, getting the painting dirty and hurting my back in the process. And somebody suggested a board game. So I went to a thrift store, got a board game, cut it to size, and it works perfect. It folds up to the perfect size. It's heavier than, if somebody wanted to custom make a product like this just for backpacking and to do it from like carbon fiber or whatever, make it a lot lighter. So that's £1. And then I do typically carry a much smaller watercolor kit, but I wanted to have, these are going to be more finished, more refined paintings. So I want to have all my colors. So I got my regular paint kit, which those of you that are on the YouTube looks like this, and it's got several colors in it, and then a handful of brushes. And so then that's £1. So there's I did make a reel about it. It's on my Instagram and it's on TikTok and my Facebook. So you can go there and see, and I described it a little bit more in detail. And then if anybody has some suggestions on how I can make it a little bit lighter, I'm all ears. But I did a little trip with that setup and it's fine. When I guide, I carry a 3.5-pound first aid kit. So I won't be taking that and I'll be taking this instead. It'll be just fun.
I think that's fascinating, that you can create all that from just 3 pounds in your brain.
Yeah. And some people might be like, oh, 3 pounds, like that's not that much. But then I don't know, if you backpack, you know that's a lot more than you want it to be, but it's still, super manageable and it fits in the pack and it's packable. And luckily I'm in the family. So I have a few people that maybe will slack pack me at some point. What matters?
Definitely in the family. Definitely. When we came down to Safe and Found premiere, I mean, I'm just segueing and tying all this together. We'll circle back. Justin and Kevin and I came down. We came to the Safe and Found premiere, met Heidi, saw her amazing work. Was like, whoa, this is crazy how good she is. That was even before we saw the premiere. We also ran into Wim and his wife with hiker medals. And so another component of growth and outreach is that we are having a hiker medal made for us. So Heidi, this is what you're going to get when you're done, right? The Allegheny Trail hiker medal.
Yeah. I'll put it up next to the other ones. We got an AT one and a Trail Angel one while we were there, and get ready for the collection to grow.
Yeah, very cool. And so Wim is so talented. For those of you that are hearing this for the first time, if you go to hikermedals.com, Julie just put it up in the chat right there. This should be done this summer. We will have this at our 50th. And so a lot of people get this engraved in the back, the date, their name, whatever, when they hike, when they complete the trail. It doesn't have to be just for completion. If you like it, buy it. And so everything's right on Hiker Medals. He ships it to you. And then what happens is there's a kickback to the Allegheny Trail for every time somebody buys one, we get a kickback for it. So it's a wonderful relationship there. Wim's super talented. Ours is going to have the Hanging Rock Raptor Observatory, the fire tower, our slash, and a really cool oak tree. It's kind of like pigmented through there with an oak tree bark, which is something new. And he was talking about how it challenged him to do that. So that was fun. And then our new brand, our new logo. So another aspect of something new for our Allegheny Trail family out there to enjoy and kind of share with people.
Yeah, that's something that really doesn't do it justice, because I've seen the medals he's had live and just the texture on them. I mean, they got different layers to them. So it really stands out to the design of what he's created. So it's not just a flat, even picture. It's got its own texture to it. So yeah, like Heidi's got there. So I mean, it's just shows so many layers to it. So it really does stand out.
That one was the Smokies is what you just put up there?
I'm not a 900 miler yet, so it's not hanging up yet. It's in the drawer. It's not get all the miles, but he gifted it to me because of the Safe and Found and the relationship with the Smokies for that one. Yeah. So.
No, very special. And so I'm learning. So you hang the ones that you actually complete, like a medal, like an Olympic medal. Is that what you're thinking?
Well, we got 2 of them. Yeah. So they're hanging in our bedroom, but this one I kept under wraps. I was like, I don't know if I'm allowed to hang it up yet. So maybe when I just feel like I'm a little bit closer to that lifelong goal of hitting those Smokies 900.
That's really cool. That's really cool. I want to make sure you have the opportunity to post your social media where a lot of our fans and our family can kind of follow you throughout the summer. Because we've got a couple recorded episodes. We'll be taking a little bit of a break as well and segueing back maybe in August, but right before the 50th. But yeah, I want to make sure our friends and family here can follow you because I know they love you and want to support you. So tell us how we can each, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, what's going to be happening for the summer.
So I am Sketching Summits, and you can find me on, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook if you search Sketching Summits. And my website is sketchingsummits.com, where you can find all my work, buy some stuff if you really want to. I won't stop you. But I do also have a blog on there, and I will be blogging maybe retroactively, kind of depending on how much energy I got, but blogging about the Allegheny Trail experience. I'm going to try to take some meticulous notes and really give some good insight on just that is relevant to any and all through hikers. I want to do a lot of far out comments and just kind of make it a little bit easier for the next person when they go to plan it, that there's just that much more information out there. So that'll be at sketchingsummits.com/blog. Find that.
Yeah. And I'll make sure that's in the description. So as far as the Allegheny Trail podcast goes, it's not going to miss a beat this summer. There will be an episode coming out next month on June the 12th. And that evening at 5:30, not only will the video episode come out, but the actual audio podcast episode will release as well. Those are done and loaded and ready to release. There'll be another one on July the 10th. So summer is going to be happening big time for the podcast. It will not miss a beat. The best place to find everything is right here on the Julie Gayheart YouTube channel.
Thank you both. Justin, we got to get a shout out for you and the Far Out Guides. Tell people where they can follow you.
Yeah, you can follow me on Facebook just under Justin Mullins, and I've got a little bit of videos on YouTube under Allegheny Hiker, just basic stuff on about my hike and plans on that. But that's where you can follow me on there most of the time. That's the only two. And I'm on the Allegheny Trail Facebook page a lot. It's where I post a lot of my work and any updates to the trail.
And Molly, don't forget about Molly. Y'all can check out Molly.
Where is Molly?
She's in the house. I didn't have room. I'm podcasting from inside my car since my lights in my basement went haywire. So just no room right now.
Making it happen. And I'll throw this out there. A little bit of a surprise. Justin and Molly and myself next Friday are in a photo shoot for Outdoor Magazine. So very cool. Something else to be looking for. Yeah, they're really just filming. They're really just going to do a photo op of Molly and we get to be in it.
We do have a question from Miss Nancy East herself. She says, last minute question, is Junie going with Heidi on the hike?
I wish. Junie's my dog. No, the short answer is no. I don't have a whole lot of confidence in hiking with her without my husband. I feel like hiking with the dog, she's a little older too, I like to have, like we just did Foothills Trail with her. We did it. It went great. She crushed it, but we had bailout point options. He carries the food. I carry her bed and her blanket. She doesn't carry anything because she's a princess. So it's just a lot easier with two people, but hopefully my husband will be able to join for a week or something like that. And then if he does, if the weather's not too hot, then he'll bring Junie up too. And I'll be thrilled to have her. I love, she is just the best trail dog. Her and Molly will have to compete for best trail dog. I mean, she does great on trail. So I love to have her when I can.
Yeah. We can have them all up on trail at a time. Plan all be on the hike together. That'd be awesome.
Like a pack. Love it.
The pack is back. Section 4. I think we need to do that, y'all. Those of you who are new to our channel, we appreciate you listening, having a good time. Come out, check out the Allegheny Trail. Our social media is on Facebook, Allegheny Trail, on Instagram, Allegheny_Trail, on TikTok. And of course, we have the podcast. So we would super duper love it if we could give a comment, give a like, give a share. All that stuff helps us grow. And Heidi, I can't tell you how excited I am personally about where this is headed for you, for the Allegheny Trail, for our fans, for people who want to support us in a whole new way. Your artwork will be at the 50th, like I said, and we're actually going to be able to take that artwork and showcase it around the state for a year. Then we're going to be making some products from it. So people could be looking forward to a bunch of new stuff in the store later in the year. So without anything else going on tonight, y'all, I appreciate your time. I appreciate everybody commenting, listening, giving the good vibes, sending our way. We want everybody to have super safe hiking season. Justin, I'm going to let you close us out. Again, Heidi, Julie, thank you so much for getting us to this point.
Yeah, glad to have you on here, Heidi. Really looking forward to this summer. There's a lot going on this summer with 50th, your hike. It's going to be busy, but it's going to be a lot of fun. So looking forward to seeing you at Trail Days this next weekend. So won't be long, just a week away now.
Thank you guys so much. I'm super excited too.